Hi again, everyone. Welcome into UnAnchoredBoston.com. With Bob Lobel, I'm Mike Lynch, and as always, we are brought to you by Cold Springs RV, your destination for all things camping. And where? We're in New Hampshire, of course, and by the great George Gray, the big wheel we call him, George Gray's Lexington Toyota, 409 Mass Ave in Lexington, where George is still celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Battle on the Lexington Green. Well, we have a lot to talk about today, and there's nothing wrong with your computer. LaBelle and I are a little bit camera shy today. So we're just going to keep a picture up of the two of us.
Right.
And we're going to be chatting away, and that's how it's going to work. Robbie, right?
The one on the right. Mike's on the right. I'm the one on the left.
Yep. He gets a full shot in the front. I get a profile shot.
Well, that's the way it goes.
It is. That is the way it goes. And I'll just file something with the complaint department at the end of the show. Is that fair enough?
We can change it around next week. It's okay. This is an audio podcast today, but if you'd like to look at the two of us, standing still, feel free to do that.
All right, Robert. We could talk for hours today. Where do we begin? Do we begin with the Patriots? Do we begin with the college football mess? What do we start with?
Well, you can go with the Patriots. You can go with the Hall of Fame, whether it's the Football Hall of Fame or the Baseball Hall of Fame, or you can go with, I don't know, you can talk about the Matthews Arena story that was in the Globe today from Dan Shaughnessy, which is an amazing story. If you haven't read it, you got to read it about the history of the Matthews Arena, which is closing. What do you want to do? I guess we got to talk about the Patriots because why not? Let's go positive and let's go all the way, because can they go all the way? Well, you're talking to two guys that didn't think they were going to be able to, but nobody else around here ever thought they were going to be able to. But let's face it, they're going to be able to, possibly. Why not? Why not us?
4 games left in the regular season. They got to bye this week. Then they play the Bills at home. Then they get down to Baltimore to face a feisty Ravens team.
The Ravens are out. They're done. They're done. Everything's done. They're going to run the table. Why not? Right? Is getting the bye, right, Mike? All you have to do is now you got it figured out. Don't you have it all figured out now? All the key thing is to getting the bye, so you have home field advantage in the playoffs. And come what may, play the games after that. Come what may, get it?
I caught that the first time.
Oh, thanks.
All right, so you say they beat the Bills and they beat the Ravens.
I could care less one way or the other. Get a bye. They're going to get the home field advantage all the way. Once we finally figured it out, the bye is the most important thing, and the team with the bye gets the home field advantage, and that's where the story lies.
Right.
It's
beyond belief.
It doesn't matter. Bring the Bengals, bring the Broncos to town. Come on, bring them all. What difference does it make? You got a shot. You got a real good shot at anything if you got the home field advantage.
You know what? I love that hit on the Giants quarterback.
Jackson.
Yep. The quarterback was not out of bounds. It was a legal hit. And I think that hit right there sent as loud a message as any message has been sent this year by this New England Patriots football team. That was a clean hit. It was a vicious hit. It had a little bit of nastiness to it, like a little bit of an edge to the team, which I like. It seemed like they've been doing everything, by the book and everything. And there's a little bit of the old Oakland Raiders in them, and a little bit of the old Baltimore Ravens. Just a little bit of nastiness, and I like that.
And you never thought, and I never thought, and at least I will admit that I absolutely never ever thought that this was even remotely possible, that we would ever get to this position with 4 games left in the season, that we would even talk about a home field advantage in the playoffs. Never in the wildest dreams would we be thinking and talking about this.
Correct. You're correct 100%. And, people are getting a little bit giddy. They're already planning their Super Bowl trips and their airline reservations up in Santa Clara. But this football team is something else. And this quarterback is something else. This running back is something else. This defense. And how about the special teams? I mean, all three, everything is working. Now, what will happen if they lost to the Bills when they come back? Is all of this giddiness going to fade away? Is it going to be, is it going to be time for you to reach behind you, Bob, and get that panic button if they don't beat the Buffalo Bills?
Mike, I just don't feel it. I don't feel like they're capable of losing. I know they are. I just don't feel like they're in that kind of a mindset. I know injuries will take their toll. Injuries can happen at any time. I just think they're walking with a gift. I don't know what it is. They're just surrounded by a bubble of happiness, surrounded by a Christmas tree ball. I don't know. I just don't feel like they're on any possibility of losing, which is diametrically opposed to anything we thought about up until this point of the season. I don't know what it is. It's just a feeling I have. I look at him, I watch him. I said, this team is incapable of losing. A lot of times you say they're incapable of winning. And for the last couple of years, they were incapable of winning. Just the opposite now. Call me stupid. I know I'm stupid. I couldn't pick a game and that's why I don't bet. But call me stupid. I just don't feel like they could possibly lose. That's the way I feel like it.
All right, so you've conceded the AFC #1 seed to the Patriots, and just bring them on, line them up. We don't care who it is. And
who could it possibly be? #1 seed. If you're the #1 seed and then home field advantage, I guess the Broncos would be the first in line, or that would be the team that would be the biggest challenge that you'd meet.
I do not want the Chiefs to make the playoffs, because as long as they're in the tournament, there's potential for fear and danger.
Okay, fair enough. I won't argue with you.
It's like the old Celtics. They would finish fourth in their division, and everyone thought, okay, it's time now for a new dynasty, the Lakers or the 76ers, and boom, the Celtics would win this series, even though they finished last and just snuck into the playoffs. I don't want them around. I don't want to see the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though Buffalo has a better record, I fear the Chiefs more than I fear the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, fair. I understand why, but the Chiefs might not even get into the playoffs.
This is true, Rob. This is absolutely true. All right, so we go from the Patriots to the Hall of Fame finalists, which involve two of the biggest names in Patriots history. One, William Belichick, and one, Robert Kraft. Can you foresee a situation where they both get voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? And what would that would be a shit show to end all shit shows.
Yeah, I can see that situation. Shaughnessy elaborated on that a little bit today. But one of the interesting things, Mike, I heard Ted Johnson on WEEI the other day, and here was his take on this. He thinks Belichick should get in the Hall of Fame, but not on the first ballot, because he thinks the reason he doesn't think he should get in the first ballot is because he cheated, and he got caught cheating, and he was convicted of cheating, and he did it more than once, and he was guilty of cheating. He admitted he cheated, and he went back and did it again. And that's Ted Johnson's take, that Belichick is a Hall of Fame coach, but not on the first ballot. Now, Kraft, same thing. Kraft is not lily white and pure here. And Kraft, he feels that Kraft's the biggest motivator in the history of the Patriots was Parcells. Kraft didn't hire Parcells, and Kraft was the reason that Parcells left. So from that standpoint, Kraft was just there as the owner and had really very little to do with the success of the team, and therefore, questionable as his worthiness for the Hall of Fame, which I thought was an interesting take on both of them. Whether,
It's a guy who's played the Patriots, played excuse me, played a number of Super Bowls, and has inside information and inside sentiment that probably is shared by some of his other teammates who probably don't want to talk about it as publicly as Ted does. But it's certainly something to talk about. And we've had Ron Borges, who's one of the 50 people that vote for the Hall of Fame people, and he's told us why he thought Robert Kraft should be in, and why the sentiment of him not being in might be pretty strong. He didn't like the way that Robert Kraft had a massive campaign and public relations effort a couple of years ago to get him into the Hall of Fame. I mean, you should. You don't hear it about Art Rooney Sr. You don't hear it about other people, Joe Gibbs, other Kenny Anderson from Cincinnati. You don't hear that about anybody. You only hear it from Robert Kraft, and I think that rankles a lot of people. Get in your own marriage. You're not. This isn't a political race. You shouldn't be putting a campaign together to get yourself into the Hall of Fame. Excuse me.
The other thing, Mike, is that Kraft, for one reason or another, Kraft seems to show up a lot in these games that the Patriots are involved in on the sidelines. The video of him in the box with Jonathan, him on the sidelines, it seems to be a little more than the other owners get. Is all I'm saying.
A little more.
Do you agree with me?
Yes. Like, do you ever see the owner's box from the opposing team, whoever they're playing?
No.
Did you see the Maras at all on Monday Night Football?
Never.
No. Are they a pretty prominent family in the National Football League?
Fairly.
Yeah. You don't see them, but you always see the shot, as Shaughnessy says, of Robert in his lifeguard chair. It's a great line.
Right.
And,
it is pumped up. That's right.
And Jonathan and whoever else is happens to be in the booth that day.
My question is, why is that? What is the relationship? Why do the networks continually do that?
I don't know. Maybe we should get a producer on it to say, are you compelled? Are you obligated to show the shot?
Obviously they are, because they do it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's never not a Patriots game without a cameo shot of the big cheese.
You're right. And I don't know what the answer is. Is it being on the television committee, being on this committee, that committee? He's like, the only guy more photographed during a game, video wise, is Jerry Jones.
Right. He's already in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall. Let me ask you have a vote. Would you vote for Robert Kraft?
No. But that's a personal thing.
Yeah, I would vote.
You asked me, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I'm ashamed of myself to admit it. Okay, I'm that petty that it's that personal. Would you?
No. I think there are other worthy candidates.
Oh, that's a good way. At least you're not personal. That's good. To me, it has nothing to do with the other candidates. How about Belichick? How about the cheater? How about Belichick, as Don Shula called him, Belichick? What do you think? By the way, USA Today said that Belichick and the UMass head coach both are last in this year's college football coaching ranks. I just point that out. That's a college football thing.
So are you talking about
I'm just saying what USA Today said UMass, the UMass coach and Belichick are at the bottom of the list when it comes to college football coaching this year. But let's go back to the Hall of Fame and Belichick.
No, it would not. It would not. I would vote for him to get in.
Yeah, I would too. But But Ted Johnson makes a good point. You know, he would vote for him to get in, but not on the first ballot. In other words, because of the cheating thing. That's a good point. I would vote for him to get in because I think he really did a terrific job as a coach when he was here for a short period of time. We don't know about the Malcolm Butler thing. I had a really interesting question since I had a visit. I was visiting the hospital the other day, and a nurse came up to me, a male nurse came up to me and said, the one question they really wanted to know, always wanted to know, what was the deal with Malcolm Butler? And I said, what have you heard? And he told me what he had heard. And he asked me what I heard. And I said, this is what I've heard. And they lined up. We both heard the same thing. And said, okay, well, that must have been the reason why Malcolm Butler sat out that Super Bowl. So he thought that was really petty on behalf of Belichick. I said, well, you know what? It probably was. But the reality was, whatever happened was more important at that particular point than it was playing him. So I'm just saying there were things that, a lot of things, he wasn't perfect as a coach. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Well, they're probably both going to get in, and then you have the uncomfortable moment of the two of them standing on the stage. They probably won't put them side by side.
No, but they'll hug each other and say congratulations.
If they hug each other, Belichick is going to try to get out of that hug as fast as possible, like he did last January at the January before down at Gillette Stadium. That was fingernails on a blackboard when when he tried to put his arm around him. Belichick tried to get away, but he sort of had him in a bear lock, and he couldn't do anything. And now since that time, we've had the dynasty issue. Your scouts can't come down to our place. We're not welcome in your building. You're not welcome in our building. Back and forth, back and forth. And this is it's really gotten silly.
It's so bad, but maybe that's the thread that runs through all these guys.
The one question I have is that baseball, every year there's a debate over Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, the steroid guys. So there's a dozen different cheaters who are debated every time the ballots come out.
Yeah.
I have never heard it come up in football until Bill Belichick. I could be dead wrong. I maybe there's something obvious staring me in the face right now, but I've never heard a debate over someone's character or someone allegedly cheating in the sport of professional football.
Well, there was a couple of Paul Horning thing and a couple of gambling things that came up, but it wasn't a cheating thing.
Correct. There was Horning and Alex Karras, and then Joe Namath owned Bachelor's 3 in New York, and that was known to congregate known gamblers would come in the place, and so Joe Namath was asked to divest himself.
You're right. It's hard to believe gambling would ever be associated with sports, right?
Right. And that place, Bachelor's 3, there was a place in Boston, Bachelor's 3, which is right where the Four Seasons sits today, on the other side of it, the Park Square side of the Four Seasons out back. And, a lot of guys would go in there and have a hell of a time.
How would you know that?
I probably would know. Was I old enough? No, I wasn't old enough. But I had a friend who had an older brother who was a doorman there.
I had a friend. That's a Playboy Club, but it was in Boston. How'd you know it was there?
I just, I love Joe Namath, and anything to do with Joe Namath, I would try to hunt it down. And I was.
You probably did. Did you probably know there was a Playboy Club in Boston?
I did know. Yes.
How did you know that?
Because the whole side of the building, about 5 stories high, was the big Playboy bunny ears.
I saw that. I remember seeing that. Right.
Yeah. And you couldn't miss it.
That's
it was a billboard.
That's how I remember.
But I never set foot in there.
I believe you don't. You don't have to raise your hand and swear to God. I believe you.
My mother's listening to the show, Bob. She's not, Joanne Lynch. She's 93 years old. I cannot.
Clever. She might be listening. She says, "Why is my son just not moving? Why is he just? Why is he sitting there watching lovingly at Bob?"
I'm looking like that picture tells me that you're saying something, and I'm thinking up a response to it.
Well, I'm talking about Cold Springs RV. Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about them right now.
Here's what I'm saying right now. Looking at that picture, campers, off-season pricing is here at Cold Springs RV. Now is the best time to buy with their end of the year season savings. We're going to check out the latest in new and pre-owned pop-ups, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. Keep your RV secure all winter long with storage starting at just $100 a month, or get free winter storage with an RV purchase. Protect your RV with winterizing at their Pro RV Service Center right now. Get to Cold Springs RV in Ware, New Hampshire.
Where?
Yeah, thank you. Ware. Thanks for the help. Ware, New Hampshire, of course, it's west of Goffstown and St. Anselm's College.
Yep.
And of course, it's north of Kingsborough, where my friend Donald and Jackie are from. And you can tell them that Lobel and Mike Lynch, the two guys that are frozen with rapture on their screen, tell them we sent you. Actually, you can bring us. You can pack us up in storage and bring us to storage and winterize us in one of their Pro RV Service Center vehicles.
Right now, it was 2 degrees when I woke up at, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning. So the reason we're not moving is that we were so cold when it was 2 degrees that right now this is cryogenics at work right here.
Right. Well, I don't know why you got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'm sure it was for a good reason.
When you're 72 years old, you get up you wake up in the middle of the night.
I totally get it. Learn more at coldspringsrv.com.
All right. So here's your question.
Thank you very much.
Question, Mr. Bob Lobel.
Yes.
You are going to have full use of the Cold Springs RV Lobel Lynchy Cruiser, and I'm going to let you have the first run of it. And you're going to drive cross country. We'll fly you back, but you have to pick somebody that is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that you'd like to ride cross country with, just to have a good time, to have great conversation, and have some laughs. Who would it be? One person that's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame to ride shotgun with you across the country.
Well, my initial choice would have been Vince Lombardi, but I'll take Parcells.
Really?
Well, why not? I mean, I suppose there's 100 guys I could take, like players that would be really interesting. You'd take Joe Namath probably, since you've already mentioned it.
Or Kenny Stabler.
Yeah, I suppose any of those things, but I think Parcells would have. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just saying that's what comes to mind first. But that's a good one. So, what's your answer?
I'm going to go with Ken Stabler.
Okay, because
we'd have a hell of a time. We would close every saloon on our way out there.
I
Every
can't
4 to 7 days. I'd have to look in the rearview mirror for blue flashing lights every single day, because I don't know what the hell he would have done. And then, he'd be sleeping though most of the way, so he might not be a great conversationalist. But I think he'd be a guy to have fun with, riding cross country.
Well, if I had to pick anybody to ride cross country with, it would be Billy Bob Thornton.
Isn't he a great actor?
The best. If you haven't seen Landman, you got to see it.
I'm a big fan of it. I've been watching it a lot.
It's unbelievable.
Why did, and we'll digress here for 30 seconds, why was everyone dying when they were inhaling something?
I know.
What was that? What were they inhaling?
It was some toxic fumes that are put off by the oil wells that in that part of the country. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was that's what it was.
Okay.
I wondered the same thing, but I kind of figured it out. But it's a good question. Good question.
Thank you. Oh, whenever I'm frozen on camera, I make sense. So that was a good one. All right, so let me ask you this, huh?
One more question.
Here's a question. Now I'm changing. I'm changing to the what to me, and I love college football. I love it, but it has turned into the biggest cesspool.
Oh my God!
I never thought I never thought it would reach the level of college basketball cesspoolism, but it has, and I'm so disgusted. You know, coaches who just they're always. I mean, how many coaches left their schools, were hired someplace else? How many guys in the transfer portal? You know, everybody you said this Bob Lobel. You know, he's a transfer from Oregon State, and before that he played at Mississippi State. But his freshman year he played at Texas A&M. But right now he's playing up here at the University of Cincinnati. Everybody is comma with all the places they've played. I don't like it.
You're talking about the players or the coaches, like Lane Kiffin.
Well, I'm talking about it starts with the coaches. Yeah, Lane Kiffin. You know, and he wanted to coach in the postseason game after he told everybody, and you know, there were kids on that team whose living room he sat in and said, "Your son's education, your son's this and that, bull crap, is the most important thing to me, and I'm going to be in it for the long run. I'm going to be here." And you know, he's gone to LSU, and you know, where's he going to go after LSU? You know, is the Alabama job going to open up? Is he going to say, "Well, that's more attractive"? And I'm
He's looking to the pros because the pros are less. He's going to make less money in the pros than he is going to be in college.
Yeah. It's beyond belief. I mean, LSU's had the governor involved. He said the athletic director is not going to pick the next coach.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, it's brutal. Let me get this commercial in here before we get some more things.
Before you go.
Hey, if you're thinking about a new vehicle, go with Lobel. What?
I was just going to say one more thing before you go, but go ahead and go.
I'm not going. I just want to make sure I get George's commercial in here because you know we may be going over for an oil change, and I don't want George to say, "Well, gee, you know you."
No, I got it. No.
All right.
Yeah. Right.
All right. You're thinking about a new car. Go with Lobel and Lynchy. Go.
Yes,
go see our good friend George Gray at George Gray's Lexington Toyota. We've been customers for years because we know that George Gray will treat you right. They're family owned. He's got all three of his sons work there, and they're operated family owned and operated dealership that we trust and you can trust as well. Go see the big wheel, we call him, George Gray at George Gray's Lexington Toyota, 409 Mass Ave in Lexington, less than a mile from where the battle was held on the Lexington Green. And I think George Gray was there in 1765.
He fired the last shot.
He did, yeah. He's been. You just look at him, you can tell that he's, you know, one of the founders of our country, and he's one of the greats of all time. And he's, you know, not many guys live to be 250 years old, but George Gray has done it, and he looks good.
He legitimately is, and we joke around a lot, but he legitimately is. I know he's a car dealer, okay, and that brings up all kinds of things in your mind, but he legitimately is one of the great guys, and one of the straight shooters, and one of the truly honest and straightforward guys you're ever going to want to meet.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that.
All right, you said there was one more thing you wanted to talk about. What would that be?
Tonight, the Celtics play the Lakers at home. Do you realize you cannot see the game on local TV unless you have Amazon?
Oh, my God. Is it like the Red Sox-Yankees game?
It's exactly like that.
Oh, my God.
It's like Thursday night football.
Yeah.
I just thought I didn't think you knew that. Believe me.
I didn't know that.
Where I'm stuck. You know, when you're stuck where I'm stuck in this frozen position where I'm frozen, you have to know what you can see and what you can't see. Celtics Lakers on Amazon.
Wow.
Is that stuck or what?
That is not that's not a. I don't like that. But you know what? It's the way of the world, Bob. It's the way everything is going, and I don't like it at all. I had nothing to do tonight, so I'm really was kind of looking forward to settling in and watching that game. Now what am I going to do?
Go on Amazon.
Well, I do have Amazon. I can go on.
helped you out. Now you can find the game and you can thank your friend Bob.
Yeah, but like my mother can't watch it. She doesn't have Amazon. You know, what is she gonna do?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question.
So, Mom, sorry about that. I'll call you up and give you the final score. But so, so if you're watching this show or listening to this show, tell us what you like better: Lobel and Lynch, frozen like we are right here, or Lobel and Lynch with their lips moving and their heads nodding or their heads shaking. Tell us what you like better. And I'm afraid to even throw that out there, because I'm afraid what the answer could be. It could be.
What would you like? What would you say, Mike? What would you vote?
I said this is kind of different. I would say, why does Lynchy have a profile and Lobel have a,
Oh no, that's okay. We'll find another. Okay, what if we found another more appealing and aesthetic picture for you? What if we did that?
You can't make chicken salad out of chicken, you know what, Bob. And so I think that this might be as good as it gets right here.
I kind of like the format, actually.
Do you?
I kind of do. It gives you kind of more of a freedom in some ways. It's like radio. It's as you know, I think radio is much more fun than television.
Well, we both have a good face for radio. We've both been told that a number of times. And yeah.
I'm saying,
all right, you done?
I am.
All right. Bob Lobel's done. Mike Lynch is done.
I love talking to you, though. Thank you.
Make sure you follow us on unanchoredboston.com, and we can always be found on YouTube. Don't forget that YouTube is everywhere. Just click on Unanchored Boston, and you'll see those two mugs will pop up, and they will be moving. Their lips will be moving. Sound will be coming out of their mouths, and it's a lot of fun. So until next time, everyone, have fun, and we will see you on unanchoredboston.com on YouTube.